Hey ski moms, spring break is just around the corner. Are you dreaming of sunny beach days or snowy mountain adventures? Whether you're craving sand or snow, we've got you covered. That's why we're teaming up with Vrbo to help you find the perfect family-friendly getaway. Vrbo makes vacation planning easy with private rentals designed for families and friends, offering everything from oceanfront escapes to slope-side chalets. Here's why we love Vrbo. There's space to spread out. Ski and beach trips come with a lot of gear, and Vrbo offers spacious homes so everyone can relax comfortably. The perfect location, from stunning beachfront properties to ski in, ski out mountain retreats. And privacy. There's no shared spaces or awkward host encounters. And top-notch amenities. Think gourmet kitchens, game rooms, hot tubs, and fire pits. And peace of mind. Vrbo's Book with Confidence guarantee includes 24/7 support and rebooking assistance if plans change. Spring break will be here before you know it. Start planning now. Download the Vrbo app or visit vrbo.com to find the perfect home for your trip. And be sure to follow us. We'll be sharing some of our favorite ski properties to inspire your next getaway. Let's make this spring break unforgettable. Welcome to Season 4 of the Ski Moms Podcast. We're your hosts, Nicole and Sarah. Hey Ski Moms, it's time to elevate your après game with the new Ski Moms Après Ski Cocktail Book. Packed with delicious recipes, this book has everything you need to mix up cozy winter cocktails and refreshing sips for celebrating after a day on the slopes. From warm spice classics to creative new favorites, there's something for every ski mom. And even a few mocktails, grab your copy now and bring a little extra magic to your next après ski gathering. You can get your copy at theskimoms.co or on Amazon. Cheers to good times and great snow.
Today, the Ski Moms are talking to Kendra Scurfield. She is the Vice President, Brand and Communications at Sunshine Village Ski and Snowboard Resort in Banff, Canada. So we are going to learn all about this family-friendly resort and tap into her expert knowledge to help you all with some trip planning. So Kendra was just finishing dropping off her daughter at daycare when we were chatting with her. How old is your daughter, Kendra?
My son is 3.
Oh, son. Sorry. So your son.
Yeah. So he is 3 now, and he's so much fun.
And I know that you have gotten your son on snow this past winter.
Yes. So I actually started him really early. There's a joke in my family that I ski before I could walk. And when I was pregnant with him, I actually was able to snowboard up until 36 weeks. And then it just became too difficult to do at my bindings. So there was about 2 weeks that I didn't snowboard. He was born in May. And when he started walking, he was a very, very early walker. He took his first steps at 7 months, fell on his face, and tried again at 9 months and was a bit more successful. So just before his first birthday, I put him on a snowboard for the first time and kind of held him, and he would just laugh so hard. And then that year where he was 18 months and a half, he would go out for a couple of little play runs. And last year was a little bit more, and he does both ski and snowboard. My goal right now is really just to make it fun.
That is so tiny. I would love to see photos of that. I have seen these like tiny little snowboarders in videos, and I'm guessing he's one of them. Tell us though about your ski origin story, or snowboarding, it sounds like. When did you learn? Where did you learn?
I grew up in Banff. I was very lucky to grow up with the Canadian Rockies right at my doorstep. And I do not remember learning to ski. Skiing is something I've done my entire life. And some of my earliest memories are holding on to a rope tow, which no longer exists in Banff, and going up and going through the trees and trying to convince my parents to follow me through on their long skis that weren't so forgiving. And then I switched to snowboarding as a teenager, and I instantly fell in love with it. I think what I loved about snowboarding was that I had to work at it and I had to learn again. And it did not come naturally at first, but I like that process of having to really struggle to get good at it.
And now, do you only snowboard?
No, I do both. I think I like snowboarding better right now, but it's definitely easier to kind of shadow my son on skis. So I do like both, but I think I have a soft spot for snowboarding.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, that when you're teaching the littles, the skis give you a little more flexibility in terms of picking them up and maybe holding them between your legs and things like that to to get them going. I'm sure it won't be long until you guys are, until he's faster than you probably, right? That's what Nicole and I found happened. Probably by what age do you think, Nicole? By maybe 7 years old? You think they were
Yeah.
faster than us? So enjoy it while you can because you'll be in the dust soon.
And I just feel like everyone in Canada, at least in my mind, that you just are exposed to winter sports and it's just part of what you do, as opposed to in the lower middle North America where there's so many sports, but we feel like all Canadians are just, thrown out on the snow. Is that just the United States bias or is this pretty true?
I would say it's pretty true. I'm from a big family. I'm the oldest of 28 grandchildren on my dad's side. And one of my baby cousins we're very proud of her. She's going to the Olympics in Paris this summer for Team Canada to play rugby. And we were joking that in Canada, we're the only country where the real Olympics is the Winter Olympics. So yes, winter is in our DNA.
We have you here today to talk about Banff. And
Mhm.
I've never skied there. Sarah and I had daughters that we've sent to Panorama to ski,
Great.
but we don't really understand the layout. How many mountains are there? Which mountains do we send families to? How do we get there? What time of the year? Like we have so many questions. So first of
Okay.
all, tell us what skiing in that region looks like and what are the offerings?
Skiing in Banff National Park is like skiing in a winter wonderland or a snow globe. It is picture perfect. And there are days where I'm out on the mountains and I still pinch myself because I don't quite believe it's real. It's absolutely beautiful. I think Sunshine is the prettiest place on earth, especially when the peaks are covered in snow. And we have this mountain called Assiniboine, and we call it the Matterhorn of the Canadian Rockies because it really does look like the Matterhorn. It is it is next level beautiful in Banff. It is really a winter destination, which is funny considering Banff actually started as a summer destination. And it was originally built by Sir William Van Horn, or the destination of Banff kind of came to be because of Sir William Van Horn. And at the time, he was the then president of the Canadian Pacific Railroad. And he was paid the princely sum to connect Canada's east to west by building the Transcontinental Railroad. When he got to Banff, he famously exclaimed, "By God, if I can't export the scenery, I'll import the tourists." And so he built the Banff Springs Hotel, and it really became a summer destination for wealthy Bostonites, Manhattanites, people from the East Coast to come and summer in this cool mountain town, and then it would close. So the Banff Springs and the Chateau Lake Louise actually weren't winterized until the Banff Springs, I think, was the late 60s, and then the Chateau was the 80s, so relatively recently. But for Canadians, the mountains of Banff have been a long-standing attraction for skiers and snowboarders. And we first opened at Sunshine. We opened in 1928 originally. So there is skiing that predates that. But our first paying guests at our facility were in 1928. And in 1935, we built our first lift.
Sunshine, is that when we think about skiing in Banff, is that what we're thinking? We're kind of picturing in our heads?
Sunshine is the primary resort in the Banff area. So there are three areas that make up skiing in Banff National Park, and they are Banff Sunshine Village, Norquay, and Lake Louise. Lake Louise is about a 50-minute drive west of the town of Banff. Sunshine is about 15 minutes west, and Norquay is the smallest of the three resorts, and it has some steep terrain. It's very popular with racers.
But so when we're planning a family trip, we're really focused on Sunshine. That would be where we're going to have the most success, and it sounds like the most fun.
That would be my vote for sure. Of course, I am a little biased. Sunshine is my favorite place on earth, but yes, Sunshine is the family focused resort. And what's really unique about Sunshine is that it's kind of, our leasehold is shaped like the Alaska Panhandle. So it starts off small. You get to this arrival zone where we have our modern gondola. You get in the gondola and it whisks you up about 2,000 feet to an island in the sky, or our winter paradise. And once you're up there, all of the terrain was really handpicked for skiable terrain. So you have easy beginner runs, you have perfect cruisy blue runs, you have more advanced terrain, and then you have the extreme terrain like Delirium Dive in the Wild West. And I like to say that the terrain really grows up with you. There's something for everyone and every level.
when is the best time to come when the conditions would be most, the nicest conditions?
My personal favorite time to ski and snowboard is in the spring. So March traditionally is our snowiest month of the year, and it is a little bit warmer. The days are a little bit longer, so you have that extra sunshine. April is another fantastic time to ski and snowboard in the Canadian Rockies. And because we are so high, our base is at 7,200 feet, and then we are rather north on the 51st longitude, that we do still get those cold weathers. And we're actually open till pretty much the end of May. Usually the Victoria weekend, it was May 20th this year. I'm not quite sure what it is next year, but it's that third Monday of May. And that's still pretty good skiing as well.
We do love those warmer spring days, especially with little kids, because
Ooh.
you're just taking that, the frigid cold factor out of that learning to ski experience. I know that you have been with Banff Sunshine Village for, I think, 12 years. You clearly look like you're super young still. So is this the only place you've ever worked?
It is not the only place I've ever worked. We are still a family business, which is pretty rare in the ski and snowboard world with all the conglomeration that is and consolidation that is coming. Sunshine is actually my father's business. So I had the privilege of growing up on the slopes, and it was really a unique and wonderful experience to watch it grow. And it has transformed quite a bit in my lifetime. We went from pretty much a more regional Canadian resort to more internationally acclaimed that we are now today. And I went to school in the States. I went to Gonzaga for my undergrad. I did my master's at the University of Calgary. I worked for a few other companies. I worked in home building. I worked for an ad agency. I worked in fitness. And when I had the opportunity to come back into family business, it was something I jumped at. It was very important to me.
So tell us a little bit about what your day-to-day looks like in your current role.
In my current role as a working mom or as
the VP of brand and communications?
I am on my phone a lot. So my day pretty much starts with a cup of coffee because it's the best way to start your day, in my opinion. And then I'll do a quick scroll of various socials to see what comments and questions we did get. I'll see where we are. For example, our audience is super engaged. And if we post something that is even slightly off, they will call us out on it. So I really believe there are a lot of answers in our social channels and just what people post and engage with. And then we'll use that to go with our team and create new content, as well as seeing kind of what trends are out there. Right now, ski seems to be having a moment, as does winter. So trying to make sure that we're in that conversation when we can be in the conversation. Then I'll respond to various emails. I'll work with my team on art direction for how we want to position for next year. I'll work with various mountain collective groups. So at Sunshine, we are part of the Mountain Collective Path as well as the Icon Path to make sure that we're in the know or in the snow with what other agencies are doing. I'll connect with Tourism Calgary. Calgary is our major city in this area, and it's growing at the fastest rate. Last year, it grew by over 100,000 people, and it also has the airport. I'll connect with the Banff Lake Louise Tourism and, of course, Travel Alberta, which is our provincial destination. Then respond to emails, respond to guest inquiries, coach the team, see what they need, have my various one-on-ones. If it's winter time, I'll try and get out and do a couple of runs, see what type of retail merchandise we have, and then pretty much check the numbers and see how we did each day at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty dynamic with the communications. You've got to really, as you were saying, listen to what the consumer wants and your audience. It sounds a little bit like the Mad River Valley in that respect, that people are very specific and they know a lot about their local mountains. So they will definitely call you out if you've gotten something even slightly wrong.
People are super fans. Like, we have fans who tattoo our mountains on them.
We'd love to know, since we're in the US, what is it, as we're trip planning, what is it logistically? How do we get to Banff Sunshine Village? So we've got a lot of listeners that are coming from like the Midwest area, and then we have a fair amount on the East Coast and a few out West. So how are we navigating this travel?
Great question, Nicole. Getting to Banff is actually really easy. It's one of the easier resorts, I think, to get to, because you start with a major international airport in Calgary. So there are direct flights from Newark daily, from Los Angeles, Seattle, Denver, Houston, Chicago. And if you are close to one of those major regions, United, Frontier, Air Canada, WestJet, they all fly. So definitely make sure that you book your flight to and from Calgary International Airport. Once you land at the Calgary International Park, you can either pick up a rental car or you can book the Banff Airporter. And the Banff Airporter will drive you directly to Banff, where you can get your transfer or even drop you off at the various hotel that you are staying at. Of course, if you book through Ski Big 3 or other programs, there's a great multi-day lift ticket that sometimes is included with some of your accommodation. So I would look for those deals and you can find them. I do always recommend booking early because you'll get the best available rate, and booking direct when applicable. At Sunshine, we have Sunshine Mountain Lodge, which is the area's only ski in, ski out hotel. And throughout the summer months, we'll typically have a 40% off sale, but those discounts will stay on throughout the year. And our hotel manager always wants me to say, let people know that if they email me or book directly, they will always get the best deal. Then when you're there, it's pretty easy. You can enjoy it. Banff itself is a very walkable destination. Sunshine being on top of the mountain, you have the gondola and there are buses to and from town, or you can make special arrangements and you would enjoy your 4 or 5 days and then make your way back to Calgary. I really do recommend people, if they are coming from international destinations or even more US destinations, that they plan a night in Calgary, either on both bookends of their trip, because you want to see those mountains in light when you're driving. They kind of just come up out of nowhere and they're really quite beautiful and dramatic. So I always recommend staying at the Alt Hotel in either East Village or University District. Enjoy some of Calgary's art and food before making your way up to Banff.
I'm so excited that there's a shuttle, because if I never have to drive, from to and from, I am very, very excited. There's just enough other details to have to worry about versus, the weather considerations and wondering if your rental car has snow tires or if you're going to be able to get an SUV. I love taking that off of the equation. What is the drive time between Calgary and Banff?
The drive time between Calgary International Airport and Sunshine Village, the base of our gondola, is 90 minutes. It is about 90 miles, but it is a twin two-way highway the whole way that isn't overly busy. So it's a pretty quick straight drive.
And tell us about I think you said it's the Sunshine Mountain Lodge. That's the ski in, ski out. That sounds definitely like the easiest for a family. What's there? What is there besides the skiing as well for families?
At Sunshine Mountain Lodge, it is located at the top of our gondola, and it is really that winter wonderland resort type hotel. It's a small 84-room boutique hotel, and we have various rooms like our loft suite. So there's a king bed upstairs and 2 double queens in the bottom. One's a Murphy queen, but they have a bit more room. So you're right beside the chairlift. So you can wake up to the sound of the chairlift and the groomers. The ski lockers are downstairs, go straight out, get those first turns in. It also has a big, large outdoor hot tub. So after skiing, you can go soak it out. We have nightly activities such as snowshoeing, tobogganing down one of our hills. Hot tub bingo is a personal favorite of mine. Then there's the movie room with various movies that you can put on, family activities and games. And then we have 2 various restaurants that are open. One is in the hotel and it's the Chimney Corner. And it's kind of a family-friendly, all ages welcome. There's music on weekend nights there. And then there's Trappers, which is our very authentic ski pub restaurant.
Okay, you've got us really intrigued. What is hot tub bingo? Hey, ski moms, we're deep into ski season and we want to know how your gear is holding up. If your skis and boards are feeling sluggish, it's time for a tune-up. A fresh wax and edge sharpening can make all the difference, giving you smoother turns, better grip, and a way more fun experience on the mountain. With locations in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, Ski Haus is ready to keep your gear in great shape. Experts recommend tuning your gear every 10 to 15 days on snow, or sooner if you've been battling the icy slopes. Here's a tip. If your bases look dry, white, or fuzzy, it's time for a wax. Lucky for you, Ski Haus has the pros to get your skis and boards back in peak shape. Drop them off on Sunday and they'll be ready for Friday pickup at any of Ski Haus's 3 locations. Treat your gear right and it'll treat you to the best ski days yet. Pick from 3 locations, Woburn and Framingham in Massachusetts, and shop tax-free in Salem, New Hampshire. Check them out at skihaus.com. That's skihaus.com to find your nearest store.
It is bingo, but in a hot tub. One of our instructors came up with it years ago, and you basically play hot tub on the bingo and they give out little prizes. It's very popular.
I am in. That sounds fantastic. I'm all about the post skiing soak. I love that. So, and I love that it's relatively small. So you probably have the ability to let your kids explore a bit without getting concerned.
So when you let them go ski, everything funneled back to really two main drainage points. One is that hotel area in the village, and the other is the base of the gondola. And either way, you will always meet up. It's a very easy resort to connect with and meet people. And then at Sunshine, we also have a licensed daycare for families who do bring small children. And there are also lessons available starting at 2 years all the way up to 6 in our Tenney Tiger program. And then we have our kids campus program, which is 6 to 12.
And it is a huge bonus with trip planning for families who do have smaller kids. So the mom can get out there and the dads can get out there and ski. And I'd also like to say the American dollar is strong. So there's also, that discount built in. We're hearing a lot of families.
30%.
Yeah, a lot of families are bristling at the prices of lessons and daycare and lift tickets. And if just by crossing the border, it's saving a ton of money.
You are saving over 30%.
Yeah, I mean, we want the Canadian dollar to be strong, but not too strong down here. That's great. And we also expect really professional ski lessons. And I think the fact that you're family owned and operated, it seems like turnover is probably not that high there. And you've hung on to a fair amount of your instructors over the years.
Definitely. We have instructors that have worked with us for all of my life.
We're getting ready for our ski day. We don't have to drive in the morning. We're going down to our ski locker. We get our boots on. Maybe we get the kids off to daycare. Where would you say, what do you love on the mountain? Where do you like to make your first turns? And where are you working towards as you explore on the mountain?
My favorite chair to start on is Angel. And this year we are actually replacing Angel. So Angel was the first high-speed quad in the Canadian Rockies. And this year we are replacing it with a luxury heated 6-pack bubble chair, an Evo lift. It is first of its kind in North America. It will be a yellow bubble with blue seats that will fly you up. And I just love starting with Angel because it is, in my opinion, that quintessential beautiful view run. You get up there from the top of Angel, you have a choice of a green run, many blues, as well as many black. And I'll usually do a nice warm up down World Cup downhill or one of the nice blue runs off of that chair, get my legs going before I go on to the day.
You had us at heated chairlift. How big is how much terrain do we have to pick from at Sunshine?
At Sunshine, we have over 3,358 acres of skiable terrain. We are larger than the number of lifts would suggest we are, but because we're in a national park, everything is really planned out, and we really work with the environmental integrity of our resort as much as possible.
And what's available on mountain for snacks and dining?
A lot. We have a day lodge that has a food hall in it. We've got our ramen restaurant in the day lodge as well as a more upscaled sit-down restaurant in that same building. We have our hotel restaurants open. We've got the coffee shop, the Java Lift. We've got Trappers open for snacks and lunch. We've got little kiosks in our Goat's Eye station area that have food options, as well as our base area has another coffee shop and another restaurant. So our gondola will take you up the 5 kilometers of mountain terrain, 2,000 feet. The first stop where the doors open is Goat's Eye, and Goat's Eye has our hardest terrain on it. It is our biggest, baddest lift. It originally opened in 1995 and really transformed Sunshine into the big mountain skiing that we know it as today. And then from Goat's Eye, you can take the gondola further and get to our village, High Point.
No matter what type of skier your family is, you're going to find appropriate terrain there. Are we going to find, for those families that are just getting up and running, some long green runs for them that maybe have views?
Everything, including our matchstick carpet, has a view. There are no places where you do not get mountain.
And is it the type of mountain that you would recommend getting a guide the first day, or do you often do you offer mountain hosted tours where we can really get the lay of the land from a professional?
I always recommend skiing with an instructor that first day, especially if you only ski once or twice a year. You can get those pointers, you can get kind of coaching to get your confidence back up. And then you can either choose to ski with your whole family or put the kids in groups. Personally, my choice is to put my son in group lessons because he's quite social. He likes to meet other kids, and I want my child's experience to be about fun. He's not going to go out as hard and long as I am or my partner is. And if we push him, we're only going to lessen his love of winter. And I really don't want that to happen. But we also, for those that are looking to save money or to do something a bit more economical, we have those free guided hosting tours that meet daily in the village. I believe it is around noon that they meet and go out, and we call it our snow host program.
I did have like a logistical question as you're describing getting up to the Sunshine Mountain Lodge. It's by gondola. So when we're first going there, do we have our suitcases and everything going on the gondola? I'm wondering how I do that with my skis.
Totally. Great question. I mean, it definitely sounds a little bizarre. How do I get everything up there? When you arrive in our base area, our parking lot zone, the hotel check-in is right there. So if you just continue driving through the parking lot, you will see it on the right hand as you go kind of around that Creekside Lodge. And we have a service where you can open your park right in front of the check-in zone. Our bell team will help you take the luggage in. They will ship all of the luggage to your room. We usually do recommend that you have some patience and give 90 minutes to 2 hours to just get your luggage up there. And you'll check in, you'll do all of those details, and then you'll ride the gondola up. You'll enjoy the 20-minute view, and then you'll get up there and just walk the 150 meters to the hotel, luggage free.
Sarah, that was a great question. And if we're not bringing our own equipment, do we take care of rentals before the gondola? After the gondola, where would we be getting that taken care of?
Another great question. If you are staying at the hotel, I would recommend checking in first, taking everything up, and then on the morning of your first ski day, going to our Salem demo tent. And it is located right beside the top station of the gondola. And there you can get sorted, you can get fit. I really recommend the Salem tent because it's less busy. So you will have more time to see the various options as well as perhaps try some high performance demos.
That's a great option. And, since we're predominantly East Coast skiing, I often leave my skinnier carving skis, and I use the term carving loosely if you've actually seen me turn. And I like to, adjust my skis to whatever terrain I'm visiting. So it sounds like that might be a nice option. Is the snow there? I think of Whistler's snow being kind of cementy, and I'm not sure what I'm expecting from.
Our snow is that cold smoke powder. It is light and dry, and it billows as you turn through it. It is magical snow. We are so high up on the Continental Divide, as well as we do have that Canadian winter temperatures. So it really creates a perfect storm for light, dry, fluffy snow.
You're speaking my love language.
My love language is powder.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be any harder. We don't leave the East Coast to make things harder. And I also think of Calgary as being sort of like Western in spirit. Is that true?
100%. We pride ourselves on Western hospitality. So everywhere has a bit of a little Western twang, especially in the city. We have the Calgary Stampede that happens every July, where we all dress up in our Western wear, but you'll see people in cowboy boots and cowboy hats year round. There's always country music to be found or folk music to be found. Our food does have some of those Western flavors. We do love smoked meats, big hearty vegetables, a little bit of spice. It really is more Jackson than it is Vancouver.
Is if we're going out to dinner and we're kind of exploring the town, is it pretty casual? We see people kind of dressed up in, furs, or are they more casual and understated?
The Canadians will be more casual and understated. We would call ourselves mountain casual or mountain chic. It is not a town where you need to get dressed up. Although as we see more Americans coming into our destination, we are seeing more people want to dress up. So there is an option to dress up if you would like to as well. You only have so many chances in a lifetime to dress up.
I completely agree. I mean, some of my basics we learned when we're traveling. I've got a great pair of faux leather leggings. They travel so nicely. They're pretty warm. I throw on, a turtleneck that I wore skiing and a fur vest, and you feel very pulled together and great. I love it. Want to talk a little bit about Calgary because you were saying that you really recommend building in some time. So maybe we're going to plan, a 5 or 6 day trip and we're going to ski 3 or 4 days and we're going to build in a day maybe on either end to explore Calgary. What are some of the things that you would recommend doing there with a family?
Calgary has a wonderful zoo, so I definitely would recommend going to the zoo and seeing some of the animals. You've got the Canadian North exhibit, and so there's polar bears, there are grizzly bears, there's options to see the animals that are really famous to our destination, and I highly recommend it. My son absolutely loves going to the zoo. I would recommend going to Nose Hill Park, doing some of the easy walks in the area that are very kid friendly. Of course, there are easy hikes in Banff and Canmore as well, but in Calgary it is just a bit flatter and a bit lower. That if you do have littles with little legs, they can better enjoy it.
And is altitude a problem? Is kind of building that day in Calgary, is that going to help some families that maybe struggle with altitude get ready for their ski days?
I do hear some comments about altitude. Of course, I'm a bit of a stranger to it, having spent most of my life at altitude. But those coming from primarily lowland or sea level elevations definitely do find that the Calgary stopping there, I believe we're at like 3,500 feet above sea level in Calgary. Then Banff is just shy of 5,000 feet to 7. It gives nice little stepping stones. It can be a big jump going from 0 to 7,200, especially for the elderly.
So going back to skiing at Sunshine, if we are not staying at the Sunshine Mountain Lodge, what are the other options in the area? Do people do like house rentals, like, or are there some main hotel brands there?
Banff does not allow Airbnb. Canmore, you could rent some more vacation type properties. If you are staying in Canmore, I do really recommend that you have a rental car just to make it easier on yourself, as the shuttle service is not nearly as developed. In Banff, there are a lot of great opportunities. We've got a Moxie hotel that has just opened with some great family style rooms and bunk beds in them. We have various lower end options with Caribou Property. And then we do have those more famous iconic hotels such as the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel, as well as the Rimrock Hotel, and there is busing available from those properties.
And if we wanted to, maybe do a little shopping, is that what we're going to do? Would we do that in Calgary, or would we do that in Banff, or both?
You can do it everywhere. At Sunshine, we do have 4 different retail shops around our resort. We have one at the base area, our Bordeaux Sports, and we have some higher brands like Half Days and some Bogner Fire and Ice, as well as Goldberg ski apparel. So you can find that chic ski suit that you're looking for, as well as the base layers, some logo wear, unique souvenirs. In town, we do have more options. We've got Lululemon, we've got a Roots, we've got those famous Canadian brands that you can shop. And in Calgary, if you're looking for the big malls and everything, you can find it there. So every area has its shopping perks.
Could we, if we want to take a day off of skiing, you said that there is some snowshoeing there. Is there an ice rink? Is there tubing? Do you have a fitness center, yoga, those sort of things?
At our on mountain property, we do have a fitness center. We do have a small spa. Our fitness center does have a Peloton bike. You can enjoy a lazy day there, reading a book, sipping hot chocolate or a hot toddy, or having a Caesar, the Canadian delicacy drink of choice. A Shaft is also another very Canadian cocktail that you can drink pretty much any day. In town, a fun activity to do is the dog sledding. So there's various options to go dog sledding in Canmore. And it is fun for families of all ages. There's no age requirement to do it. Of course, there's other little activities that you can do, walks you can do. A stop at the candy store is always fun as well.
Okay, I've heard of the Caesar. What is in that?
The Caesar is really Canada's cocktail. It was invented in Calgary at the Westin Hotel, and it is our take on a Bloody Mary. But instead of using tomato juice, we use clamato juice. So it makes it lighter and a bit more flavorful. And then you have the Worcestershire sauce, you have the horseradish, you have the Tabasco sauce, the seasoning, and it's really kind of an art to see how much you can elevate a Caesar. So people will compete for the best Caesars.
Okay, so you're talking about like you could add bacon or celery or olives. It becomes almost as a meal.
I mean, it is a meal. Yeah. I've seen steak patties on it. Then you've got people doing vegan Caesars as well. A smoked Caesar, a gin Caesar. Usually it's made with vodka, but Now you're doing tequila and gin as well.
And where do you think is the ultimate place to try one of those if we're visiting?
If you are visiting, the Rimrock has a pretty good Caesar in Banff. Obviously, in Calgary, the city it was invented, I would order it. The Mountain Sunshine at Trappers, we have a pretty good Caesar. I would also recommend trying the poutine at Trappers. If you are in a cocktail bar or a restaurant, you can't go wrong when you order a Caesar. You might not like it, but they will definitely work to present it as well as possible. It's an either love or hate drink.
I would think poutine and a Caesar is too much. It's just too much. You think you could do both? I mean, that would require a big day of skiing to have to justify both things.
Finish it up with a Nanaimo bar and you're golden.
Okay, what is the last thing you just said?
A Nanaimo bar?
What is that?
It is a dessert square. It is chocolate, sugar, icing. It is a sugar overload, and you will almost be comatized by one of them, but they are quite popular. I don't know how to explain it. I can send you a video, but it's got your chocolate layer, then you've got a bit of a coconut chocolate brownie, then you just have a layer of frosting.
And that's something that like Banff is known for, a special
Western
Banff
Canada
treat.
is known for Nanaimo bars. They are in a lot of various coffee shops or snack bars.
We'll have to look that up. I think that might be maybe maybe all three of those together would be too much. The Caesar and the poutine and this bar. Maybe over different days. So we'd have to plan it out a bit.
I know one of the fun things that when I was looking up Kendra's bio, that she's also a writer, which I don't know how you have time to do this on top of everything else you do. Is this a passion project? You do this during the off season? Tell us a little bit about your writing. I was just rushing through JFK Airport on my way to ski in Utah, and boy, was I glad to have my Diamant boot bag. The airport was an absolute chaos as skiers and travelers navigated the long lines to head off on their winter holidays. Thankfully, I had the ultimate boot bag to make my life easier. The Diamant Weekend Warrior bag is a backpack-style bag that stores my boots and helmet and counts as a carry-on. It's TSA approved, so getting it through security is a breeze. The bag has a spot for everything. I had a full ski outfit packed, as well as space for my laptop, chargers, and toiletries. When I got on board, I slipped the bag into the overhead compartment. I settled in to watch a movie, knowing that when I arrived to Salt Lake City, I didn't have to worry about losing my essential ski gear. And there's even a version with wheels. The Diamant XL is a carry-on boot bag that has winterized wheels for a smooth ride on any terrain. As always, Diamant bags are designed by skiers for skiers, with a water-resistant and ventilated boot compartment that keeps my ski boots dry and fresh. Head to diamantskiing.com to get yours. And don't forget, Ski Moms save 20% off the lowest price on Diamant ski bags for your whole family. Just use code SKIMOMS at checkout. Trust me, this bag will change how you travel.
Yeah, I love to write. Writing is a definite passion of mine. And I remember some of my earliest memories of just sneaking out my bedroom window and sitting on the roof. Sorry, mom and dad. And writing little stories. And I think I fell in love with writing at a young age, but was insecure of my own work that I didn't actually take it further. And then when my son was born, I was just kind of inspired and I wrote various poems and short stories. And I had this want to get it published. So after he was born, one of the poems I wrote, Something So Perfect, I submitted to various publishers and it was picked up by Pegasus Publishers out of the UK. And they turned it into a little book. And I've since written 5 more that are now in the works of publication.
Do you have anything that's sort of winter specific?
Something So Perfect is, there are moments about winter in it. So the cover of it is us at Strawberry Chairlift at Sunshine. And there are comments like, well, we waited for you to arrive. Many powder days we did enjoy. I think I got that wrong. But there's that line about snowing, how we can't wait to show you our love of winter. In one of the books called My Mom, it's about being an imperfect mom, because I think we all are imperfect moms. And we have this doubt of what we're doing and are we doing enough? Are we doing it well enough? And what I've learned through him is that he doesn't care if I'm perfect, if I'm well dressed, if I'm doing my best. He just cares that I'm there for him. And through him, I've really learned to accept myself a lot more. But there's one where my mom says that when she's older, she'll show me Delirium Dive at Banff Sunshine Village. And then one is Call Me Miss Slush Cup, and that is my latest one. It is just with the publisher right now. Slush Cup is our big year-end festival. It is a giant party where you hit a jump and you try and ski across this pond of water that is filled with snow. And we have about 6,000 people there just having a time of the life. And what I find quite unique is that so many of the kids that grow up in our racing program from a young age, their goal is to do Slush Cup. So it's written from the perspective of a girl who is one of our Sunshine ski team members, telling how she's going to be Miss Slush Cup and that no goals are ridiculous. See, I wanted it to kind of be a joke because it might sound kind of ludicrous to tell your mom or dad that when you grow up, you want to be Miss Slush Cup. Like, it's not an Olympic sport. It's just a fun day. But if you want anything, you have to do the work and you have to believe in yourself and not kind of downplay that event, because lots of things people might think are silly, but if they're important to you, they're important to you.
Sarah and I love a good on snow event, something where you can dress up, wear a costume. It does sound like spring is a great time. Are there other celebrations in spring that families might want to time their visits around?
100%. Spring is all about weekend festivities. So we'll have DJs and music every weekend from April to the end of May. We'll have our event series where there'll be various snowboard and ski contests. We'll have pros on site because most of the pros tend to finish their seasons in March and then they're back home. So they're just playing. Then we've got various, like, whether it's a scavenger hunt on the mountain or just little things for kids to have fun and to play. And this year, Sunshine was one of the first resorts in North America to allow snowboarding. So we actually allowed snowboarding first in the 84-85 season. Back then, when we first allowed snowboarding, we did require all snowboarders prove they could stop, so get a license to shred kind of thing. And this year is the 40th anniversary of the first time snowboarders were allowed to ski or to ride at Sunshine. I can't say ski because they rode. And we'll have some activations around that evolution of skiing and snowboarding. And we have to go back to, if we think of where we are with ski culture, the rejuvenation in ski culture is largely credited to the onset of the snowboard movement. And through snowboard, we got the shape skis, we got the park skis, we got that youth infusion back to it. So I think the culture that we have today in skiing and snowboarding is largely accredited to people wanting more from what they could do on the day of a day of the slopes.
Time is kind of coming to an end. We'd love to know how you would end a perfect ski day there at Banff. Maybe you're skiing with your partner, or maybe you're skiing with your son. How would you end a ski day? What would après ski look like for you?
Ooh, that's a good one. So my perfect day would end on one of my personal favorite runs. I have this run off of TB Town Express called The Shoulder. It is a bit sporty to get into it, for lack of a better word. But once you're in there, you can always find those pockets of pow. And I would go down there and get my last face shots of the day before skiing out. Once I ski out, I'd be with my partner Tice or some girlfriends, and we would kind of race and play and do some of the fun hits on the side of the ski out. The ski out is a must. It is a 5-kilometer run that takes you from the hotel to the parking lot. I love it. Once you're there, I would stop at our Creekside Lounge for a drink, a Caesar, a Shaft, a coffee. I love coffee, and we have amazing coffee in Calgary that is locally roasted. Calgarians are Canada's coffee snobs, and you can't get a bad cup of coffee in Calgary. Our coffee is locally roasted with Monogram Roasters out of Calgary, so I always get that for my drive home. And then I would either give my son a big snuggle as we go for a walk, or go in a hot tub, or go to a yoga. After he's in bed, I'll do my yoga and go through the photos of the day. As a mom, I'm realizing that it's really important that we take photos of those moments that we don't think are memorable or iconic, the everyday moments, because when I look back on just the everyday, it's pretty special to see how love-filled and memorable each and every day is.
Sounds like a great day. And you sound like you are really enjoying this as a mindful ride of parenting, which I admire. I don't know if I was that focused. Some days I felt like I was surviving, not thriving.
Definitely feel like it is surviving some days, but I'm so blessed and grateful to be where I am and to be able to share it with him. And then my other recommendation to any parent or people skiing is safety first. Make sure that you know the Alpine Responsibility Code. I highly, highly, highly recommend the use of helmets, especially in terrain that you aren't familiar with, and especially with children. I do think that we all need to lead by example and be mindful of how we ride with safety and embrace that.
We are really grateful for your time and walking us through all of these amazing options. We're in trip planning mode now.
Thank you, Nicole and Sarah. It was so lovely to join you, and I look forward to seeing you in the Rockies.
We want to take a moment to remind you about the Ski Moms discount page on the skimoms.co website. We've collaborated with our favorite brands to bring you a ton of money-saving deals. For instance, we have a special link for Ski Butlers for 20% off your family's gear rentals. Ski Butlers delivers your rentals right to the living room of your condo or rental home or the lobby of your hotel, saving you hours of time. You'll never have to wait in a long rental store line at the base of the mountain again. When you use our links and codes, you not only save a bundle, you're also sending a message to the brands about the purchasing power of the Ski Moms. Head to www.theskimoms.co/discounts to take advantage of these special offers. Hey, Ski Moms, we hope you enjoyed today's episode and got some great tips for your next family ski adventure. If you had as much fun listening as we did making this episode, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest episodes. And don't forget to rate and review us. Your feedback helps us bring you more of the content you love and helps other ski moms find our podcast. Plus, we love hearing from you. So whether you're on the slopes or just dreaming of your next snowy getaway, stay connected with us. Follow us on social media, share your favorite episodes with your friends, and let's keep this awesome community growing.
Hey, Ski Moms! We're thrilled to be partnering with Ulster County this year to bring you 4 seasons of family travel inspiration. Nestled in the stunning Hudson Valley of New York State, Ulster County is your go-to destination for outdoor adventure all year long. And when it comes to planning your winter getaway, this spot truly delivers. Let's talk about Bel Air Mountain, a ski resort that has thought of everything, from their expanded base lodge and standalone equipment rental center to the beginner-friendly area on top of the mountain. Yep, you heard that right. Bel Air makes hitting the slopes a breeze for newbies and seasoned pros alike. Looking for thrills? This is home to the only gondola in the Catskills and the longest vertical drop in the region. Oh, and if Mother Nature isn't cooperating, no worries. 96% of the terrain is covered by top-notch snowmaking. Looking for even more winter fun? Rocking Horse Ranch has you covered. Picture this: a beginner ski hill, snow tubing, ice skating, and a winter fun park all in one spot. And if you're feeling adventurous, how about a horseback trail ride through the snowy landscapes? It's like a winter wonderland on horseback. Get all the details and start planning your Ulster County adventure at visitulstercountyny.com. That's visit ULSTER County NY.com.